Good evening and welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Alex Lord. We got a great show. We're going to talk a lot of Braves and a lot of Falcons, and we are going to begin with the Dirty Birds and Steve Wyche, an NFL insider, as plugged in as anybody when it comes to the Atlanta Falcons. Been around the organization forever, for as long as we've been doing this. He has doubled down on a statement that he made where he said the Falcons aren't going to be interested in Justin Fields. He also said he's not really sure about Kirk Cousins, and he went as far as to say that their top priority is moving up in the draft and selecting one of those top three quarterbacks that we have been talking about for the last several months. And we talked about yesterday how Peter King said that the Bears might be open to trading that number one overall pick. And I've heard rumors about the Patriots now considering maybe moving back. Maybe teams aren't as in love with Drake May. I've heard a lot of guys that aren't as in love with Drake May as maybe you and I are. But it does seem today, and this is going to be an ever-changing situation, right? It really is. Like, there's going to be so many rumors. You don't really know what's true. But it does seem like today the Falcons are very interested in moving up. Not a surprise. The question is whether any of those three teams will move down.
Yeah, the question, it's not going to be about whether the Falcons want to or, have enough capital, whether that's draft picks or players or players. It's going to be whether one of those three teams, the Bears, Commanders, or Patriots, want to come off the pick. I think that's going to be the deciding factor. And then, of course, that's the first hurdle, making sure one of those teams wants to come off their picks. And then the other hurdle is bidding against the likes of the Giants, Vikings, Raiders, Broncos, maybe even. Several teams want to get one of those top three signal callers in Caleb Williams, Drake May, and Jaden Daniels. So there's a lot of obstacles to overcome. And, the important thing is like for the first time this week at the Combine in Indianapolis, teams, Brass, Terry Fontenot, Raheem Morris, Kyle Smith, all these guys are going to get their first in-person taste of Caleb Williams, Drake May, and Jaden Daniels. Some of them aren't going to be actually throwing at the Combine. That doesn't really matter to me, and it might not matter all that much to a lot of the executives in the NFL. They want to just sit down, look at them in the eye, talk to them, ask them, what really drives you? What's your motor? They're going to ask all kinds of weird questions, but I think that's really going to be the kind of launching point into what we could kind of guess to make, is it going to be the Bears? Is it going to be the Commanders? Is it going to be the Patriots? Is it going to be none of them? Is maybe the Falcons, find one of these guys? Maybe it's JJ McCarthy. They get and sit down in a room with JJ McCarthy and they go, he's got the eye of the tiger. That guy's a killer. I want that guy. A lot is going to be revealed, not revealed, but like I said, a launching point is going to happen this week in Indianapolis.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start off with the NFL Combine and guys not throwing. In general, the NFL Combine in general, I think can only hurt teams' evaluations more than can help it. I think a lot of times, and you see it, guys almost want guys to test poorly that they like. If they have a guy that's like way higher on their board and they trust their evaluation process and stuff like that, they want him to go out there and let's say he's a wide receiver and run a 4.6, 4.7 because they know game speed, he's not playing like that. And maybe he'll fall to the third down or outside of the top 100 picks instead of going in the first round or something because he tests poorly. I think you're seeing a lot of teams stray away from the actual results at the Combine from being important. But the most important thing, as you mentioned, is
those interviews. It's more important than the on-field. It's way more important.
It's not even close. I'm 100% with you. The second thing that I want to say is I just am starting to get a feeling that one of these teams is going to get cold feet in the top three. Now you did mention the other obstacles, which is there's going to be a lot of other teams. So yes, I mean, you mentioned 4 or 5 teams. You could even go further than that, further down the board.
Sure.
If someone's willing to give up
the Seahawks, maybe.
Picks,
yeah,
if someone's willing to give up 3 first-round picks, there are going to be no shortage of suitors. But I am getting the feeling because there's no shortage of suitors, if some team doesn't like a particular prospect, whether it be Drake May, Caleb Williams, or Jaden Daniels, that they will move off and sell it to the highest bidder.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm that sold just yet because I still do believe that the Bears absolutely have to take Caleb Williams. I would be shocked if they didn't. And past that, the Commanders absolutely need a quarterback. Sam Howell has proven he's not that guy. And the Patriots, I don't understand this whole Patriots. I don't remember who said it, but a prominent figure said something along the lines of, the Patriots aren't in a place to kind of foster a quarterback and, build a good situation around it. Guys, It's never a bad time, regardless of the state of your roster, to draft or find a franchise quarterback. It doesn't matter. Nobody was talking about the Texans last year as like CJ Stroud. Like, they shouldn't take CJ Stroud because they don't have a good support system. No, you take the quarterback and then you figure out the rest, and vice versa. If you don't like the quarterback, you figure out the rest and then wait for the quarterback. And that might happen to the Falcons this year if one of their top guys gets taken or one of those three teams decides not to trade out of their selection. So I want to quash that like the idea of a situation is the reason you shouldn't draft a quarterback is absolutely asinine. I think it was somebody on like ESPN, like a prominent figure, said one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. The Patriots should trade out of it because there's the supporting cast wouldn't be good enough. And that's also hilarious just to kind of, bounce around here is like the supporting cast isn't good enough for a rookie, but it's all Mac Jones's fault in New England. Like, I just think that's hilarious. That's another guy that I don't know how he's, just being forgotten about. If you want to talk about like unrealized potential in Justin Fields, Mac Jones made a Pro Bowl his rookie year, guys. And if you want to talk about a fit in Zach Robinson's offense, Mac Jones makes a hell of a lot more sense than Justin Fields. I know that was a wild tangent I just went on, but I just think, in terms of options, like they said, you got to keep them all on the table. And if you really want to get down to the bones of it, Mac Jones is a way better fit in this system in particular than Justin Fields.
I mean, I'm not going to get into the Mac Jones thing because I will sit here and stand Mac Jones. If you followed the site or followed me on social media 3 years ago, I was sitting here pounding my fist for Mac Jones, and it looked like a genius take after 1 year. I do think he got screwed.
Yes.
And I do think he can still be a quarterback in this league. And I do hope that he gets an opportunity to at least compete for a starting job. And I think he will. And you want to talk about cost. I mean, you might be able to get Mac Jones for a 5th or a 6th round pick. But just strictly speaking, back to your original point on the fact that, the quarterback situation, he needs the right situation. Yes, we've talked about it. Most of these quarterbacks need the right situation to succeed. But if you got a franchise guy sitting in your lap, you're not passing over him just because the situation isn't right. And I think that's the whole, when you talk about off-season smoke and off-season just talk, because we're in the dead period where you just have to start up conversations. I've heard the same thing said about the Washington Commanders. I've heard the same thing said about the Patriots, that they don't have the offensive line. They don't have stuff like this. They don't really have the weapons to cultivate a quarterback success. Well, yes, but they can get those things later on, just the same way that they can get a quarterback later on. So, I mean, it goes back to the thing, best player available, right? Like, if you think Jaden Daniels can be a franchise quarterback, you're going to take him. If you think Caleb Williams, whoever the guy is, and if you think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be better for your long-term your long-term success as a team, you're going to take him. But yeah, I mean, I don't see. I think that whole conversation.
If they come off the if they come off the pick, it has nothing to do with the circumstances of the organization. It has the circumstances of the prospect themselves. So like, the Commanders or Patriots, let's just all assume Caleb Williams goes 1. It's that the Commanders and Patriots don't like Drake May and Jaden Daniels. It has nothing to do with the fact that they're like, we're going to build and, be ready for a quarterback. No. That's just
look at the Falcons. We've been doing that crap.
We've been trying to do it.
We've been doing that crap. And there's some.
The idea is good in theory. And then you just watched how it could crumble underneath you, where Arthur Smith put his eggs in a 3rd round picks basket. And he was like, well, I have enough weapons. We can generate enough, yards after catch, things like that, where all we need to do is him to be kind of that, system quarterback, keep the train on the tracks. And you saw what it did. Desmond Ridder could not keep the train on the tracks, cost Falcons multiple games, and ultimately Arthur Smith's job. So like it works in theory, but you just saw how it can't work.
The difference with the Falcons is that if you go look at the 2021, 2022, and 2023 drafts that they passed on quarterbacks, there wasn't a lot of sexy options. We're talking about like Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, a lot of guys that have not had success in this league for one reason or another. So at least the Falcons didn't pass over some ridiculous prospect like Patrick Mahomes or something like that. Yeah. But in the same breath, it's this quarterback class, I would even throw JJ McCarthy. The top 4 in this quarterback class could all go in the top 10. And it's just shocking that you would even think about passing on them because of your situation. And I do not see that happening. Coming up after the break. Well, the Braves offense, does it actually have a chance to be better in 2024 than it was when it was historically great in 2023?